Well, hello, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Dukowitz of the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. Today's topic is this: husting the hustler. So we were in Las Vegas just a couple of days ago. My wife and I went there for a date weekend. We saw Gwen Stefani, and the next day was an adventure day. We just wanted to get up and go walk around. We had been to Vegas years ago, and we literally went every year for I don't even know, maybe 5, 7, 10 years. And now here we are. We're going to Las Vegas to see this show and to just be as a couple who now has 3 children. And on day 2, we just wanted to go for an adventure. We didn't want to have any commitments or any time constraints. We just wanted to go be. And so we decided to go walking. This would be 20,000 steps that we took this day and 10 miles of walking. And so as we're walking on this journey, we are going right past Caesars, which is one of the hotels on the Strip in Las Vegas. And I see a little bit of a commotion. And I say to my wife, I want to go check this out. I want to see what's going on. And we walk up. And I thought maybe it was somebody playing, drums or playing a guitar or something like that. And it was actually, there were 2 gentlemen who were, they were probably about 10 feet apart. They both had like little TV trays. If you remember like the TV trays that kind of like stand up, they're probably about 3 feet high. And on the TV tray, they had a little velvet board, which was encased with wood. And then on that velvet board with wood were 3 bottle caps, like from a water bottle. They were black water bottle caps, and underneath one of them would be what looked like a gumball. And what they were doing is they were playing the game where you show somebody where the gumball is, and you flip them around and move them around, and then you say, guess where it is. And then you guess where it is, and you're all happy, and you win a prize. Now, as a kid, that's the way it worked. In Las Vegas, it works a little differently. They are playing for money. And so, as they're moving this around, they let somebody win. It baits them into saying, hey, I can do this. I can win. And so as I walk up, I see a man standing there who has $100 in his hand. It would appear that he just won $100 from winning the game. And then he starts to pull out more money. And the hustler, the man who's running the game, is pushing him. He's pushing his buttons. You've won already. You can do it again. There is a woman off to my side who is obviously working with him. There is another woman off my right. There's obviously another woman who's off to the left of me, about 5 feet away, who's also working with him, as my wife and I sat there and continued to observe. And they're pushing and getting all excited about it as well. And so she plays. She wins. She plays and she wins. So now the man is sitting there. His kid is standing there with him. I'm going to guess probably about 12 years old. His kid is standing there with him. His wife is standing behind him, who is not looking very happy at this whole transaction that's taking place. So he pulls out a few more hundreds, and the man says, look, make it 3 more. So he's already got $300 out. Make it 3 more. And he gets $600 that he places into the hustler's hand. And the hustler says, okay, now you see this, right? You see this. I've got your $600. If I lose, what are you going to win? It's like, I'll win $600 more. It's like, that's right. And if you lose, what's going to happen? You get to keep it. Okay, so the agreement has been made. And the man continues to show. And he slowly lifts up the middle cup, like almost by accident, quote unquote, accident, where I see it. And where also the man who was getting ready to pick saw it. And he says, okay, go ahead and pick one. And he says, if I were you, I would pick this one over here. So he's pointing him to the far right one. Call it the first one. But yet the middle one is the one that I saw. The middle one is the one that the man saw, thinking that the hustler made a mistake. And so he's like, no, I want the center one. And the woman on the right is saying, no, pick the far one. The hustler is saying, pick the far one. But the man says, no, I want the middle one. And he picks up the middle cup, and there's nothing there. He picks up the far right cup, and there it is. Now, what's so interesting about this is because it's this win-lose game, and especially in gambling where people want to win it back. He was digging in his pocket for more, and then finally his wife is like, we're out of here, and they walked away. He was upset. We walked behind them for at least a half a mile, hearing him justify, hearing him trying to figure it out, hearing him wanting to get his money back. And the whole time, I'm sitting there going, your ego got the best of you. And that's what happens in Vegas a lot of times is people lose, but they say, no, I can win it back. I can do this. I can win. I caught him. I know what he was doing. I know what he was up to. But his ego got the best of him. The hustler, and the reason I call this man a hustler, the hustler gets hustled, is because the hustler, the man who lost his money, as we're walking down the street, his kids look at him and they're like, Dad, that could have been 2 pairs of Gucci socks. And we were listening to the conversation. This would be what appeared to be a very well-off family. And so a man who obviously had hustled, he'd worked hard for his money, like all of us do. We work hard for our money, and yet he took that money and he thought after he won once, his ego took over and said, I can win more. I'm in Las Vegas. I can win more. And his ego got the best of him. And he lost $600. Now we would continue to watch where we would see them working hand in hand with their 2 people on the sides and trying to bait people in. And the reality is that when ego takes over, you're not going to win the game. When ego takes over, chances are you're not thinking clearly. When ego takes over, you can't really be focused. There's a difference between confidence and an ego. And in this particular situation, the man's ego won over. So the question I have for you here today, when you look at your life and you look across body and being and balance and business, where in your life are you letting ego get the best of you? This happens in relationships all the time. The stubbornness of a man to not have an open conversation that he needs to have with his spouse or significant other. Heck, women, you aren't off the hook because y'all do the same thing. The stubbornness and the ego gets in the way. Our ego has been bruised. We don't want to have that conversation because we've been bruised. When in reality, what we know is that we have to have that conversation. We have to actually sit down and remove the ego and communicate with each other to grow and expand. Maybe it's in your health where you don't want to ask for help because you're a health professional and you know this stuff. But yet one of the best moves that you can make is to hire a trainer and actually submit to them. Put your ego aside and allow them to help you in moving forward. Maybe it's in your business. Maybe it's with needing a coach, whether it's a coach in helping you to build your relationships, a coach in helping you with your business. Yes, that's what I do. And you have a coach that helps with your business. Instead of saying you know it all, instead of saying, oh, well, I don't know about having a coach or a mentor, I've done it before. You go, but wait a minute, what if there is somebody, if I put my ego aside, what if there is somebody out there who I could actually benefit from listening to and working with and getting that level of support? But many times our ego gets in the way. So where in your life, across body, being, balance, and business, do you see that your ego is winning out? And you might need to put your ego off to the side and submit and actually be open to the learning from somebody else. Be open to what they have to offer and helping to teach you in moving forward in this life, to helping you to support you in expanding your relationships, in your health, and even in your businesses. Take a look across those 4 categories today and find out where is it that you need to move your ego aside. And then what is the one action that you could take immediately? That's all I've got for you here today. Hey, I am Dr. Troy Dukowitz. If you haven't already, head on over to commitandgo.com where you're going to get a free time mastery program. And hey, I would love it if you would refer your friends, family, and coworkers to the Commit and Go podcast. Actually, just have them hop on over to iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, subscribe, rate, and or review. And if you would do the same thing, I'd appreciate that as well. That's all I've got for you here today. I am Dr. Troy Dukowitz. This has been the Commit and Go podcast, where we encourage you to make big commitments, take big action, and create big-ass results in your life and business. We'll hear you next time.